mostly slanted this time around. We are recording live from Drink For Yourself Studios in beautiful SoMa West on Folsom Street in San Francisco. The podcast is called Slanted and Decanted. I'm joined by...
Cara Patricia.
That's right. And
Cara Patricia.
You're Cara Patricia. My name is Parker Story. I just landed.
Boy, are his arms tired.
It's been a really, really rough weekend. I'm sure you've seen it in the news. Me and about 70,000 of my friends were stranded in the desert.
Your best friend.
Luckily, my ace pilot, Vivek, was able to rendition me to San Francisco and held it down at the wine shop for a few hours. And then I spent almost the same length of my shift trying to get the computer working with Cara here and super producer Sarah, who
left.
I think she's gone. She works at YouTube. I think she's Mr. Beast's girlfriend.
Oh, I wish.
But,
God.
it's a podcast about wine.
No, it's not.
No, yeah, actually.
It's a little bit about wine. It's people who like wine and drink wine and talk about wine, but it's not a podcast about wine.
Okay.
I mean, it's like
Sorry.
mostly about wine. I just mean, podcast about wine. Is there anything more boring?
Who's the guy on Twitter who like wears the flat bill hat? And he's like the Jim Cramer of wine. He's like a deals guy. I was
Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah.
Gary Vee?
Yeah, that guy rocks.
Don't you know about him?
I don't know enough about him.
Okay, so
Tell
he
me
is
about
like
Gary.
the king. Okay, first and foremost, I used to, back when I was a baby som,
Mm-hmm.
he had like a wine shop in Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a YouTube channel called like Wine Library TV or something.
Right.
And so like he would basically just record himself blind tasting wine and spitting into like a Jets helmet or
Wait, that's fucking cool.
or whatever. Wait, what's the Jersey football team? Do they have one, or are they like New York?
It's
like Giants and Jets.
I would think Jets are Jersey folk because they don't have a New Jersey NFL team now.
Well, either way, I don't know if he was spitting into it because he hated the team or spitting it into it because he like loved the team.
Who knows?
Who knows? But but he was from New Jersey, and he would just like taste wine. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, that's a real good Chateauneuf de Pop. He's like, oh yeah, the berries. Like, you guys. I mean, you really love this wine. It was basically kind of like an infomercial.
Was
because
he calling him? Like nailing him?
yeah, I mean, he was pretty good at it, but he
That's
like
right, they're
owned
right.
the store,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if they were even always blind. He just might have been tasting wine, but I would listen to him just to hear someone using like descriptors.
Yeah.
And like different types of descriptors, and that would help me. And that was like in 2010
Yeah.
or
Okay.
11 or something like that. And he was basically using it, I think, to sell wine from his shop that's like shipped all over the country.
Nice.
And so I think what happened was like he was the first like wine influencer. And because it's so niche, and I think it took his shop that like his dad had owned, maybe his grandpa had owned, that was like in his family, I think that kind of blew up. And then all of a sudden, it's like a couple of years later, I'm seeing him like be a keynote speaker at like YouTube and like at stuff about like influencing. And then he was on Twitter all the time talking about like finance.
I gotta say, I didn't look too heavily into the guy because there's only one Jim Cramer for me.
But I would say he is a Jim Cramer.
Yeah, that's the energy I was getting off
Very
him.
Jersey.
And I was like, that's really cool.
I think he got into NFTs, and if he didn't, I would imagine like he was one of those like very internet superstar type of guys.
That rocks.
Like
That
if he
is
went on like
interesting.
Clubhouse, I bet like 1 million people would have gone on it just because he became like kind of a early online guru,
Right.
but of all thing like technology and media and stuff.
I waited for a long time
I
to
think.
see whatever the nexus of wine and NFTs would actually look like. And I didn't get to see much until last week when Gallo bought Rombauer.
Gallo also bought Massican.
I saw that.
I don't know why I never say it correctly.
Is it Massican?
It's
Massican?
Massican, but I think it's Massican. It's like a mountain range that his like grandmother
Mhm.
was born near. I think that's the story. But
Petrosky's
anyway,
the man.
he was really into kind of wine NFTs. He was really in everything. I think he was like building vineyards in the metaverse. He was like very much like he's like an early adopter. He's kind of the Gary Vee of winemakers, I would say. People
Really?
are gonna follow him. Yeah, he's like innovating all the time. He's like coming out with a cookbook. He's a cool guy. He gets it.
I guess I never really could tell like who like the grind set like like tech guys were out there in the wine world, because I guess like wine guys.
Gary Vee, Grindside. That's exactly what those people.
Yeah.
Like if they take a wrong turn, they could easily become like Joe Rogan.
Right. Yeah.
Like they have the power to if you
top G.
Yeah, like if you like tap
GG.
into the wrong audience, you're gonna have the worst fans ever.
Yeah,
and
Jets fans. When I looked at Gary Vee videos, it would always be like bemusedly, like I'd had some drinks and I'm like in bed scrolling and I'm like, I wonder what this guy's yelling about again. Because it is cool to see like a small guy on your screen just fucking yelling. It's like, this is hilarious.
I like have no interest now in any of it.
I see a lot of these wine guys start wearing like lanyard guy style fits, but without the lanyard, you know? Like that's what it amounts to a lot of the time.
That is the uniform of like.
Yeah.
And I either have or want to project that I have wealth. It's the Carlo Mondavi.
Yeah. What I really want is to I need to get home and get into one of these these AI realizers, because you know how those trad guys love to do video representations of aristocracy used to dress like, and the petticoats and the breeches and the feathered stockings and the powdered wigs and stuff. I want to generate a progression that takes that style progression all the way from French aristocracy to just a white guy in a puffy vest walking around San Francisco. Because I mean, that is kind of the outfit is always I'm dressed as though I could do manual labor at any given moment, but I'm not going to.
That's true. All the winery promo photos of the winery owners, not the vineyard workers, the winery owners.
Yeah, those guys.
It's
the winemakers.
No, not the wine. I'm talking about the vineyard owners.
Oh, yeah.
It's you see them and they're in a picture on the website. And it's they're looking lovingly at the bunch. Mm-hmm. Their clothes are just perfectly clean, not a little bit of mud on the boots, and it's oh no, you're just kind of coming through today.
Kevin Costner in Yellowstone. That's
winery owners.
Yeah.
I've never watched that, but isn't he against development?
The show is or
is he xenophobic?
It's a Taylor Sheridan show, and Taylor Sheridan made Sons of Anarchy.
Yes. Okay.
He also made
the first 4 seasons.
The seminal television show Tulsa King, where Sylvester Stallone plays a mafia guy. That's one of the most AI generated shows of all time.
I gotta see that.
It's really, really good. But in Yellowstone, Costner is this. He's like a hero cop. He's like a guy who's prestiged being a white American guy. Not only is he, he's a cop, but he's
he is a cop.
He's a cop for being a rancher.
Oh.
He's
I run this town. I got the biggest ranch.
And then he becomes the governor of Montana. Oh. And it's just the show's about his hat getting bigger, kind of. But they also, it pivoted really hard because he has this based daughter who drinks whiskey. She's kind of like a Reddit woman. Where it's
well, that's how you have to know that she's got fire in her, because in the show she's drinking whiskey.
She has red hair.
And she's
got a glass of whiskey.
She's got a whiskey. She's not your normal rancher's daughter.
She's not a normal girl. Yeah. She can fight. Yeah, and she does.
She's not like other girls.
Yeah, she blows a bunch of stuff up, which is cool.
Is Yellowstone Ozark, but in Wyoming?
Yeah, it's Montana Ozark. Yeah, it's or is it
Missouri?
Ozark's in Missouri, but yeah, I believe it's Montana that Yellowstone takes place in.
Sure.
Anyway, it's an extremely insulting show that minimizes the experiences of Native people. Oh. But Yellowstone fans got really mad recently because it took a lib, hairpin, because Kevin Costner is not only the top cop of all cattle ranchers and the governor of Montana, but he's fucking woke. So everybody got mad. Because his troubled Pisces coded son has a native girlfriend.
Okay.
So he gets
now.
Yeah, and he has a hot environmentalist girlfriend.
Was he bigoted beforehand and now he's cool because he's been exposed, or was he not bigoted before and now they're just talking about these things? People are this is woke. That's
how Taylor Sheridan threads the needle perfectly every time. Is that Kevin Costner was always woke, but no one ever pushed him into it. And so then everybody gets really surprised. They're like, whoa, this guy's really nice. I thought he was like a badass cop dude. And he's like, no, actually, I also have perfect morals.
But he's not an actual cop.
Well, he is officially a law enforcement officer.
Oh, he is a law enforcement.
No, he literally is a cop.
Oh.
But he's like a cattle cop. Like him.
What's a cattle cop? What does that mean?
Like he enforces, like, because, you know.
Like ranch law?
People will wrangle cattle, steal cattle, move fences, like all that stuff. He enforces that stuff.
But like he has like a badge, like from the government?
Yeah, he's got a badge. They call them livestock wardens or... Yeah, no, so he's a cop.
I thought you just meant like he was like a prick.
No, he's a cop, he's a cowboy, he's a politician, and he's a feminist. you know, classic.
We need more. Listen, don't be so closed-minded.
I'm not. I'm saying
they exist.
Yeah, I'm just,
Hashtag not all cops.
They exist in, I'm like, that's the thing about that TV show is I'd be perfectly willing to, like, for this guy to be my favorite TV show character ever if I had met a person in real life who's like that. I feel like I've got a really good beat on it that I can, like, really crystallize it, frankly, because Taylor Sheridan's politics are pretty obvious because, like, it's the show, all of his shows are, like, about being liked, you know, by everyone.
What?
Yeah, like, it's...
Tell me the Sons of Anarchy, because I haven't watched the other ones. The main guy? The dude?
Jax Teller? Is that his name?
Probably. He wants to be liked? I never once thought he wanted to be liked.
No. I don't think that the character wants to be liked.
Okay.
I think that that Taylor Sheridan is writing from a perspective that, like, his protagonists need to be understood and fully realized as good people despite their apparent flaws.
Yes.
It's like he creates really obvious anti-hero shows.
Right. Like it's not as subtle as like Tony Soprano or something. Where it's
no,
like,
it's right on the face. It's like
Tony Soprano, it's like he doesn't have any good morals. Like there's nothing about him you like. He's not good to his family. He's
you
not,
like him because he sucks.
Charity.
You're like,
yeah.
What the
it's
fuck?
not like he was an undercover feminist.
Yeah, he's a baby.
He's a piece of shit. But
and it's awesome because like I said, if I had met a guy like the Yellowstone guy in real life, I'd be like, that's believable. That's a good character. Tony Soprano, I mean, that guy's real. There are many of them. This is the world. This is
stupid.
The world of difference between a writer like Taylor Sheridan and a writer like David Chase. I'm a guy who, I mean, even the premise of Sopranos, right, is the exploration of the human mind. The premise of a Taylor Sheridan show is like, what if there was a really badass guy? You know,
he was trying to do the right thing, but he just kept getting.
But all these hot girls
in.
and these dumb guys were making it hard for him.
Yeah. I want to explore the wine they drink in Sopranos more often because I don't think that I really ever appreciate. I mean, when I was watching it when I was like on HBO, I was young, but like. I rewatched it and I don't think I was really like paying that much attention, but I feel like it was what I did catch was a lot of grocery store Chianti.
Yes. Yeah.
And that to me made me really sad for them because it's like you have all this money and power, yet you have no class or taste.
There are many Chiantis that I'll defend on this podcast and outside of it, but
it's like Carmela, go to the wine shop, get it. I will say order from Wine Library TV.
If we are having a debate between Taylor Sheridan and David Chase as TV writers, Taylor Sheridan did have the wherewithal to have Dwight, the protagonist of Tulsa King, offer his daughter a Barolo after he just murdered her boyfriend.
Classy.
Very classy. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. You want to root for him.
Yeah, he brought it to the dinner table and then someone said something he didn't like, so he just left.
Wow.
It's really cool. The first thing that Dwight does when he arrives in Oklahoma is shake down a perfectly legal weed business, and it just is never explained why that's possible.
I would love for one day someone to come in here and shake me down for protection money.
You would like that?
No. I just mean in the sense in what world?
Oh,
right?
You just want to talk to that guy.
Yeah, I want to be in what world do you think that this is a thing that happens here? Mm-hmm. I wish I could pay someone to not have people shit on the window.
That's something I've been thinking about in my spare time. It's should I just get a group of guys together and we start walking around swinging chains and looking crazy? See if anybody wants to give us a couple of bucks.
Yeah, and be listen, we'll make sure no one shits on your windows.
Yeah.
if you pay us.
That was
and then
crazy.
What? If they don't pay you, you shit on their windows.
Did I tell you that that kid who came in here and was talking, like asking me to go upstairs to like check out the apartments, that he called me a white supremacist? And he was a white kid. He called me a gatekeeper and a white supremacist because I wouldn't let him go upstairs and buy fentanyl.
Well, you know what? If that's white supremacy, I'm all for it.
That's right. And you heard it here, folks.
Slanted and Decanted is brought to you by The Bottle Cult, a curated wine club by Decant San Francisco. Join the cult at decantsf.com and get $10 off your first subscription box with promo code SLANTED.
You know, when you're in the wholesale game is all about being on Zoom with somebody who
Is it?
it's Zooms. Everybody wants to Zoom with
Zoom with who though? Not with buyers.
You're Zooming with winemakers, you're Zooming with sales teams. I had like 6 calls in a month where I'm just like, these are all an hour and a half long, and they're all at the start of my day when I should be getting on the road to sell wine and, you know, taking care of stuff. But people in sales love sales calls. People in sales management love sales calls more.
It's the worst.
And winemakers love to, you know, eat avocado toast on camera with you while you're like trying to figure out how to get your kids to school and fulfill your work obligations.
Jesus.
It's great.
Why did they have to be on Zoom? Like,
well, nobody in wholesale can read, so it's got to be.
No wonder the invoices are always incorrect.
It's got to be auditory.
We're like, I can't handle that.
Cicadas.
It wasn't like that before the pandy.
No, I didn't think so. No,
at least not Zooms.
Yeah, I worked a little bit of wholesale too, but I mean, like, it also, like, market visits used to be a week long, you know, and work withs used to be a lot of fun. And
work withs were never fun. Work withs have always been the worst.
I've only ever really done them with friends. I mean, you know me. I don't do anything I don't want to do.
I've had to do them with like a supplier, like a winemaker in town, and me as the supplier, or me as a supplier with a rep from one of the distributors.
When you're with the rep, it's the worst.
And for them, it's also the worst.
And I've been the rep too. And and every time I'm like, hey, fuck this. Yeah. Let's go get drunk and let's eat some food.
I'm like,
let's talk shop. Let's talk about the key stuff that needs to happen, because I know about the wine and I know about the buyers here. So, like, let's just work on the stuff that's going to work out and flesh out. And let's not go annoy anybody and, like, try and walk around town all day as though we've been best friends for 8 years. And it's just like,
have you make fun of my city's coffee?
Yeah. What the fuck? That type of shit is weird.
Have you gone to any of, like, the old school, like, kind of dive bars up in Napa?
Mm-mm.
Well, if you ever get time to, like, hang out, like, in Calistoga, there was this place, I think it was called, like, Susie's or something, and it was, like, I started noticing it once I started going to, like, these more, like, country dive bars, and I consider, compared to the rest of Napa Valley, like, Calistoga is kind of country compared to the rest. Like, there's still, like, this old feel, like, old Napa up there a little bit, but it was, like, the dollar bills, like, that were pinned to the ceiling. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that?
Yeah, no.
Is that a thing where you're from?
I've seen that regionally. I've seen it in Milwaukee.
Really?
I don't know what it's about.
Maybe it wasn't a thing in Chicago because all the ceilings were like tin, the old ones. Like,
there's a lot of stucco, a lot of like a styro board.
Yeah, totally styro board. Yeah.
And the styro board is it's a vibe. Because it gets yellow and stinky and it never gets replaced ever. And
those old bars smell like bowling alleys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you haven't been able to smoke in them for 20 years, but you walk past it from the outside and it smells like I can only say like bowling shoes, just like old tobacco.
Yeah, the air pressure changes. It's like it's a liminal space and you're like in the 90s again.
And it's because of that awful yellowed wallpaper or styro board, and like everything was old wood, and that's just sucked into the peeled lacquer. It's so gross. It's
crazy because I think that like our society like tried to fix that 2 ways. They're like, okay, no more smoking inside, and also everything is made out of plastic now.
Totally.
Which is not the move.
And every bar
we could have kept the woodwork if we stopped smoking inside. Which, sometimes it's time to blast a cig. I get it. I understand. But somebody told me recently about a bar in Berkeley you could still smoke in.
There's one up in felt too.
They told me this
Might
because
be
they know I enjoy a cigarette or a cigar every now and then. I was like, that's gross. And they were like, really? And I was like, yeah, like, if I'm wasted and I get to, like, light up a cigarette inside, then, like, that's great. For the subsequent 8 minutes. Wake up the following morning and I smell like I've been hanging out.
When everyone is smoking.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. I am so glad.
It's horrible.
That's not a thing. So, like, you know, smoking weed inside, like, it smells like weed while you're smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the 25 minutes, 30 minutes afterwards or whatever. But, like, the next morning, everything doesn't smell like weed.
Yeah.
Cigarettes, the next morning, everything smells like cigarettes in your house. One time I brought all these... I was like trying to do something nice for all like the bussers at one of the restaurants I worked at. So I invited them all over to my house for like to drink and like play cards or something. I was like, yeah, we were like hanging out, drinking tequila and stuff. And then
Jesus Christ.
One of them was like, oh, can I smoke? And I was like, yeah, just go on the balcony. And so they did. But then like they would all go on the balcony all at once, like all 6 of them. All to smoke, and
it's
then
like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I know, and I was just like, okay, just bye.
Blasting 6.
Yeah, and I was just like sitting there like alone. I'm like, okay, and then so finally the next time I was like, oh, it's fine, you can smoke. I was like, open the windows.
It's best boy life though.
Dude, the next morning,
the
like,
wine girl says we can go blast cigs at her house.
Oh my god, I know. And then like the next day, Sarah and all my roommates were like, what the fuck happened in here?
We were having a cigarette party.
Completely. I was
like it's illegal
to
smoke outside.
Smoke.
That's so funny.
I just let people smoke here because I didn't want to be alone. Jesus. With them all outside and me just being there. Like, I'm not going outside, it's cold out.
If you're listening and you're a busboy out there in San Francisco or the greater Bay Area and you need a place to light up, come on down.
All right, Parker.
Yes.
Are you drink it or dump it on Gallo purchasing Rombauer and Massican?
Let's call it drink it. Yeah, I'm in. You know, I can't speak to Petrosky's vision. I can't speak to, I don't know, fucking Peter Thiel or whoever owns Rombauer's vision.
Peter Thiel.
But like I said
I bet he stocks it.
Well, like I said on Peter Thiel's new app, Threads.
No, God, ruin.
I'm kidding. No, Threads is cool.
Okay.
I endorse Threads because Carl will get mad at me.
Is Threads cool? I'm questioning.
It's not cool. This is what I was telling you. It's not cool. But I like
Instagram is great.
Is it?
I live and die by my Instagram. People can text me and email me. I won't see it. If they DM me, they will get a response.
That's why I hate it. Because I know the people I do business with will ignore me for days, and I'll see them live on Instagram, and I'll hit them up, and I'll be like, "Hey,
I know.
Did you get my email?"
No.
Yeah.
I got an email from you from switching distributors, and it's just been I haven't opened it. I saw the snippet of what it was saying, and I was like, I will open it. I know what it says. I'll get it figured out. I don't have the brain power for it.
I'm going to put it on the record, and I'll put it on notice for every distributor and supplier that I contract with.
Don't email me.
Decant business is decant business. If my friends' invoices are late, don't fucking worry about it, all right? I got it. Just chill the fuck out. All right?
Everyone's invoices are late.
Everybody's invoices are late. It's Bidenomics, baby. Don't worry about it. And the money's coming. And
money is coming.
Yeah.
All the money is coming.
Jim Cramer, I'm bullish on Decant.
Yeah.
Paying their bills. I'm bullish on that.
We do pay our bills. There's just some people that were like...
Literally every time.
There's just some...
Unlike other wine bars on Folsom.
Oh yeah, the bills will get...
The bills are getting paid.
It's just like, listen, like the check's about to be written.
The check is always in the mail, as I like to tell one of my brokers in Napa Valley.
And they're like, you can pay on Melio.
Yeah.
First and foremost, Melio has like a 2.5% fee.
Also, Melio sounds like a C-tier R&B singer that I don't listen to. No thanks.
Melio's topping the charts.
Yeah, Melio sounds like he's opening up for Miguel, and I will be late.
You know what I've never had to do?
What?
I've never had a job where I have to chase checks, and I don't believe that any person in sales should have to chase checks. because that makes me feel like it's an MLM.
100%. And what I do, because I work in wholesale, is I play both sides, where I make sure that my contractors, or the people that I contract with rather, think that I'm extremely excited about chasing down payments. And I make sure that my buyers know that I'm never going to sweat them about it. And then I go home and I go to sleep like a little baby.
Thank God. That's what we need.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh my God.
Folks.
It's like, I don't need Barbara from accounting.
Yeah, and it's also
at the
like...
shop. I'm like, listen, you fucking bitch.
And for suppliers who think that that's bullshit, you told me to do whatever the customer wants. So,
always. Always.
That's what you said.
Now, there's a difference, though. There are problematic accounts.
Yes.
And that's
Which I
a
think
complete
problematic-
different thing. Problematic accounts that are going to go into collections.
Problematic starts at like 4,600, in my view. Problematic starts at 6,800.
Yeah,
okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, okay. Per invoice.
Per invoice, that's right.
Not like balance. Per invoice.
Yeah. I'm not the tax man, but I
That's
will
at
say
45 days, taking a picture of a check, but not the whole bottom, messaging it to the rep so they can't cash it.
swag, perfect. And listen,
That is problematic.
People, I'm pulling tarot cards, I'm burning different herbs, and I'm trying to figure out when the best time it is for me to ask you about the payment, because what I also want to do is collect the payment at the same time that I make another sale. Because I really don't want to bug you. You know what I mean? It's
But you actually have to go pick up physical checks?
No.
Oh, God.
You gotta smoke them out,
Yeah.
which is fine. But I'm not gonna come smoke you out until I know that we're gonna do a reload. It's a tete-a-tete. We're doing each other a favor. Fuck it.
But I also understand
You know what I mean?
why. Yes, I do. I do understand why it's so hard. So
Especially
it's
since so many people who buy from me are my friends. That's how I have a sales network.
right, but you're not the person with the warehouse space and the bills and the interest rates that are really
Right.
high that's storing everything and you're paying your suppliers, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And if
So,
you
like-
have enough capital to do things like that, I don't care about you. So
Yeah, and maybe we don't need as many books as there are in the fucking
it's like
city.
we could actually consolidate things.
I am blown away by so the E&J Gallo
This is
market
great.
consolidation.
This is the perfect little segue into
Like,
this conversation.
The E&J Gallo market consolidation is something that I'm going to drink it. It's fine. I do know that
I back it.
there's a couple things. One, like E&J Gallo, they have the Maze Row portfolio, which is regenerative organic, like focusing on sustainability in like in all ways, including business sustainability and worker rights and things like that. Okay. It's much smaller, etc. If you're going to go from 10,000 cases to 100,000 cases, that's still not a huge amount of wine.
No.
And these two wineries, what do they make? They make white wine. What's the trend in the market that's moving? White wine.
Right.
Red wine is losing
Which
market
is
share.
being retrofitted for organic production pretty much nationwide.
Yes.
And the reason I'm drinking it is because if you think that Gallo isn't planning on transforming the Rombauer brand into a sustainable, greenwashed, approachable...
It probably already is.
Right. But they're going to start...
It's probably already organically grown.
Oh, I'm sure, because it's easier and better and it makes
Yeah.
better wine.
I bet if you look it up, it's all that great stuff.
And the myth about
Just
it being more
just doesn't
expensive
taste
is
good.
kind of, it's not
It's
not
not even
well
that
made.
expensive.
Yeah. But I'll say that if you think that they aren't moving towards a vocally more sustainable model,
Of course,
then
yeah.
you've had too much Rombauer.
Yeah.
So
I haven't had it in a little while. Maybe they've changed. Maybe it's not a Yankee Candle, the vanilla bourbon Yankee Candle or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it
was
tastes like Moronade now. Who
giving
knows?
like Axe body spray for girls at a certain point. It was that
Warm vanilla, brown sugar, Bath and Body Works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
The strength of the aroma was
It was intense, and
impressive.
it was opalescent.
Mhm.
And it was big.
The color as well is kind of like the amber from the mosquito scene in Jurassic Park.
It was a real intense. It's an intense, beautifully perfumed, intense wine that has a place in society.
If an ancient Sumerian were to bathe in it, I would say that makes a lot of sense.
It's like milk and honey.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not drinking it.
When I was in Dallas for TechSom, and we're getting all this wine from all over the place, and we had this dinner that was sponsored by a particular large national distributor that has merged many times. It's consolidated.
Right.
And I was like looking around and I was like, oh, I'll be able to find which wines are theirs because I know like what importers or what suppliers are with them. Thinking about California, everybody is with them. Like Peter Michael,
really?
Kistler. Like I was amazed at the breadth that they had in that company out there.
I love Peter Michael wines.
Oh my God, the wines are fucking fantastic.
They're so good.
It was amazing. And I was just like amazed because I was like, oh, if Peter Michael and Kistler were with them here, there would be a bias against the wine because it was with them.
Right.
In other markets, everything's with them.
It is so easy to think about California as a country.
Yeah, completely 100%.
It's very easy. I do it. I've lived here for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense. Certain things make perfect sense.
It's like, oh, well, they also have like Sassicaia.
Right.
Like, okay, like you gotta, people used to tell me like when I was a champagne specialist that like, oh, they'll never work with that estate. And back then, Diageo still did. Okay, Southern Wine Spirits is who we're talking about, obviously. Southern
right.
Wine Spirits.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mention it, but like people used to like. I remember when like Diageo estates, like the wines from like when Diageo wasn't just spirits, they had all these beautiful Burgundies and things like that. And people would be like, "Oh, I'm not going to work with them," and I'm like,
"That's
okay,
because
so you
it's
don't
okay,
want because you don't want Burgundy? No, they don't.
They don't.
That's Regal.
Oh.
Regal's owned by the Jackson family. Or something like that.
Oh, yeah. They're in-house.
Yeah. But they have vineyard brands, which is amazing.
Right.
As well.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So, that's like the sort of thing. And like people don't want to work with one certain company because they have a couple of huge name brands. That is like a bias problem. But in other markets, they are one of the only games in town. Like if you want to be a buyer in Las Vegas, you have to work with them because they're going to even have the boutique brands that you really love.
I think specifically for a market of that design.
Yeah,
like LV, where it's just like if you aren't a major player, you can't do business here. That's the name of the game over there.
And Dallas is like that as well.
Yeah. I would think Dallas too. Yeah.
And like it's the cities, like these stupid, annoying food wine cities, like San Francisco, like Chicago,
places
like
full of workers.
that there are everybody.
Obviously, there are workers everywhere.
Brother wants to import wine.
Yeah.
People come in like, oh, I just took a trip to the Canary Islands. I'm gonna start an import book, and all I'm gonna sell is Canary Island wine because I love it. And it's like, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
Like I would love to taste more Canary Island wine, but you know what?
You were talking to a person right now who had similar visions, moving to the West Coast, and I'm glad that I was kidnapped by Cara and forced to work for free at her wine shop until I was divested of such ideas.
Let's not say free.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
Cara, you can handle it. It's fine. Everybody knows you're actually the only good Irish person.
I just want to say one last thing on the Gallo thing. If nothing else, people in other parts of the country are going to start drinking really good wine. I'm talking about Massican. But I'm also talking about the language of yes, which is Randall Graham's project. That's also I think that if I brought Massican to my family in I'm sure maybe you can get it in Chicago already, but I brought it back for 4th of July for my family, and everybody was like obsessed with it. I was like, yeah, this shit's fucking fire.
The wines are really energetic. They're lithe, but they're powerfully flavored white wines.
I hope everybody gets to taste.
You don't get that pristine balance everywhere.
And maybe it won't be sold out every other week. I try to order
salty
it.
too. I like those wines.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Since we're still locked into Drink It or Dump It, and we discussed the Gallo acquisition of Rombauer and Massican, we're both on Drink It. I say let's go. I say let's consolidate. Let's nationalize. Actually, let's turn it into E&J Biden. How about that?
Who's E?
Eric Trump. Him and Jill got married.
Just biding my time.
He died. God damn it! I was explicitly told to not say things like that.
Got it.
Let's
Start this over.
out.
Let's start this over.
Anyway, I'm ill. By the way, I'm compromised. I got hit by a direct energy weapon.
Because they knew you were going to start a podcast.
One of the lasers that was pointed at Maui bounced off of a stratonimbus cloud and hit my apartment, and now I can't taste or smell anything.
Everything smells like pennies.
Everything smells like pennies. Actually, everything smells like $100 bills. Because I'm feeling wealthy. I'm feeling bullish. Drink it or dump it, Cara.
Yeah.
Trump's mugshot. What do you think?
Okay.
Did you have a good time?
First of all,
you're talking to an Irish woman who really hates Trump.
Well, I mean, who doesn't? I guess a lot of people don't at all.
There's 50% of people like it.
50% of the people don't hate him. Like 20% of the people will start a war to keep him in power. Yes. Maybe not even 20%, but it is a loud.
So don't grow your base anymore, people, because if you 5% more, we're gonna bump up the gratuity to 25%.
Just right for now, the pain, just for the anguish.
Right now you're paying 20%.
Oh my god. The mugshot was one fine.
Do you think he ate?
Ew. Honey, he served no. First of all, he was trying to give like
he was trying to serve. That's why I asked, because
he was trying to give the
he tucked chin and he raised one eyebrow.
He's like, I'm too good for this. I'm gonna get out.
People thought he was
Wild West.
People thought he was gonna smile. I was like, no. Trump thinks that he's been drinking the Kool-Aid. He thinks that he's an alpha male now. I don't think he really believed that before, but now he's having to pivot to new strategies.
I think he's always thought that.
No, not when he was tweeting about Diet Coke and New York Fashion Week.
No, he always thought he was on top and he was right. 100%.
Oh, of course.
Red pill, fucking alpha male piece of shit.
I think that he was feeling like a real queen back then, and now he's going more Machiavellian. I think he's in his Napoleon era. 6'3", 215-pound Napoleon. So you're dumping it, right? You don't like the mugshot.
I'm dumping it. It wasn't cute. It wasn't. He did not eat, and he was. He was a fucking poser in it. Like, he was a fucking loser.
He could have had if you want to do hard face, like hard style, he didn't pull it off, and I don't think that he has it in him.
It would have been for his brand better if he did look up
the cheese.
Smile creepily like fucking Joker.
The Joker, yeah.
Then
he is the Joker. He's
his little minions would have been jerking it all over.
The Groypers?
Mm-hmm.
That word? It sounds like that.
Fucking love it. They've been gooning all over the place for it.
That's right.
Ugh. I hated it. I loved Giuliani's.
He looked like shit.
I loved that. I loved how he looked like his life was over. I love that
he was confused too.
He had the gravity of the situation. He was finally hitting.
He really thought Trump was his boy. That's really sad.
Is so stupid. All of them are stupid. Trump only thinks out for number one.
It was kind of Shakespearean.
What's his face? The fucking the documents hider guy that was working with him in the Secret Service, his bag man.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
This fucking guy, the guy that also got indicted with him for the classified documents case.
Yes.
That guy, he is getting
hair plugs.
He's getting better treatment for sure than any of the Georgia people, any of those co-conspirators. However, that guy is going down. And Trump will let him draw. He will just let his hand down.
Well, this is
I hope that guy turns on him. Giuliani is not that guy. Giuliani is not lucky enough to be that guy.
No, Giuliani's cooked. And you texted me about this too, because I think I made a 9/11 joke, which mea culpa. But you were saying, well, at least Giuliani's not connected to 9/11. And he actually started he started a weapons cleanup or a chemical cleanup company called Bio One, in October of 2001. That was all about cleaning up anthrax and bad chemical materials like all over NYC. And his wife apparently lived across the street from two of the hijackers for a long period of time in Florida, which I thought was really funny.
I said
This isn't a
that
9/11.
I wish he was going to jail for working for the Sackler family.
Oh, right. Those
because
people
that
are...
is also him. He is the worst.
We're talking about a guy who, because of the misdeeds of a lot of people in the world, right, was able to ride a huge cresting wave of like, oh, this is the greatest guy in America, when the whole time he was, one of the worst and handily like the worst, like Manhattan goon, like before Trump.
Oh, completely.
I mean, they are. It's funny that Trump was able. Like the one thing that's very, very funny about Trump is that he was able to turn a guy like Giuliani, who's so clearly cut from the same shit-stained cloth, into his like urchin.
Between those two, that whole time that they knew each other in New York, when mayor and everything, it was one hand washes the other.
Yeah.
Like the entire time, they were connected.
Very gross.
Yes, disgusting.
Giuliani is very sweaty. Like he sweats enough to like his phone will answer calls without him really wanting it to, and like he's been like on hot mic'd on his own phone, like by journalists, like saying insane stuff. He's very
Borat thing.
That was very funny.
That was like, I was like, how is this not on the news?
It's very sus, and like a lot of people, it got pretty well whitewashed because people were like, oh, well, it's a bit, and I'm like, Rudolph Giuliani used to be the mayor of New York City. Yeah. He's not on his back with his feet planted firmly on the ground on a hotel bed with an erection for a bit. Like, this guy got duped, and he looks insane.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Because, you know why? Because he's used to that. Yeah. He's used to that behavior. He didn't find it strange. It was just another day of fucking business in Giuliani's world. Ugh.
Disgusting guy.
Hate.
So we're dumping Giuliani.
Fucking no. I drink up that mugshot because I love the internal death.
Oh, the Giuliani mugshot.
Yeah, I'm drinking that. I'm dumping the Trump one because that was like fucking so anticlimactic.
He did not serve.
He
did not serve. He did not protect. It was bad. And this is one of the...
They don't have a measuring tape and a fucking scale.
Well,
I could go in there and be like...
All of those cops were just
5'10".
like, yes, sir, right away, sir. 215 pounds, 6 feet and 3 inches of pure muscle and like, patriotism.
It's 100% like that description is like he could get away from a bank robbery. They would never think it was him if they were like, oh, the suspect was 6'3", 215, and then he's waddling by. Never.
Well,
me, 5'10", 115.
Don't give him any ideas, because Trump could easily rob a bank just by like walking up to the teller and being
He has
I've got a bunch of money in here.
No, he's literally robbed banks. He's literally robbed people blind.
No, he's crazy. He's filthy. He's dirty. Fucking scummy.
But also a germaphobe.
Yeah.
And also a piss play artist.
You believe the PP?
100%.
No, I know I've had to clear this up for a lot of people on Instagram recently, but
What was that about? I didn't understand, and you were doing this confessional?
Well, listen, I posted an image of Donald Trump outside of Air Force One with the caption that said, oh, so I guess it's okay to make fun of neurodivergent people now, huh? Hashtag better together.
I saw that and I died.
And it was really funny.
It was really funny.
Because like everyone was posting the mugshot. That was the day of the mugshot. Yeah. But my thought was like, well, I like to make a little Insta post every, like I like to do a little joke on the story every week. But I don't want to do a mugshot joke because like everybody's posting the mugshot, it'll get lost and it won't be that funny. So that was the only thing that animated it. And like several people from the church I grew up in and like a bunch of people that I know, and like also like a couple of guys from like the skateboarding community who I would think like would like have eaten enough acid to be like, that's hilarious. Yeah. Like hilarious. They were like, excuse me, bro, Trump is bad. I was like, I know. Like that was.
Were there people that were also like That's not funny. Neurodivergents are people too.
One person, and I can't even, I talked to them briefly about it, and I was like, whatever. I'm throwing my hands up about this because I'm not going to, first off, folks, if I ever use that word or any other word that you don't like,
neurodivergent is not a pejorative word.
It's not even the worst N word. But I'm not gonna whip out.
Nerd is the worst.
Yeah, nerds. Yeah, you can't run around calling people
nerds
or dweebs. I'm not gonna whip out my oppression resume for you to look at. I just was making a quick joke about Donald Trump. Because there is something wrong with that guy. Also, because it was it's a funny meme. That was it. So I did have to make a message on Instagram that said, I'm sorry, everyone, I don't support Donald Trump. I know it's something like that. We have stuff to talk about. There's lots of things running around the wine and food business, which is why we decided to start the first and only Jim Cramer-style based wine podcast in San Francisco, where we tell it like it is.
Gallo, buy! It's A rating. A rating. Gallo, buy. Rating. A rating.
Yeah, buy.
Buy.
Go huge.
Go huge.
Yeah,
all the way.
I'm bullish on Gary Vee. I'm bullish on Massican. I'm bearish on
Pet Nats sell. Sell them. Pet Nats sell them.
I'm bearish on Trump actually going to jail. I think that they're gonna put an air tag on him and tell him to just hang out at Mar-a-Lago. But I think that's funny enough.
It's gonna be him and Bolsonaro just kicking it.
Yeah, Bolsonaro will move into the pool house like Will in the late seasons of Fresh Prince. That would be really cool.
Giuliani would be like DJ Jazzy
Jeff.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dude, yeah. That's really,
that
really
would be
funny.
Great. I would watch that show.
That'd be... That's actually really funny. But yeah, we maybe need to find a good Carlton figure, but otherwise it's pretty well fleshed out. And
who would be the Carlton figure? I can't think of
Roger Stone.
He already has the bow ties.
Yeah. Did you know they tried to make him the viceroy of Iraq during the Iraq War? Can you imagine?
Who tried to make him the viceroy?
George Bush.
And Jeffrey Epstein would be the Secretary of Education over there.
I'm absolutely sure.
Open up all the young girls' schools.
Yeah,
for modeling.
The Dalton School of Kabul. Jesus Christ!
I hate everything. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we live here? What's our purpose? I don't know.
David Cross wrote that really good book, I Drink for a Reason, that I used to think was really cynical and stupid, and it makes perfect sense now that I'm in my 30s with 2 children, 17 jobs, and a singular passion.
I can't go see him live anymore because now I'm just you sound like me. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he's annoying now.
He's so fed up, and I'm I get it, dude.
We got into an argument on Twitter. He blocked me.
I got blocked by a comedian on Twitter.
And I love David Cross, but you know
That's
what?
crazy.
Actually, we
he
made
blocked
up.
You?
He was like, dude, what the and the final tweet in the thread, I go, he's like, what the fuck, man? I was like, you know what? Actually, I was just trying to antagonize you because I didn't like your last special. I'm sorry. He goes, I've been there, dude. You're good. I was like, okay.
That's funny. I do still love David Cross.
No, he's one of the best of all time.
I deleted my Twitter. Everybody should be off of that fucking cesspool.
Download Twitter, everyone. I'm kidding.
Doesn't exist.
X?
Once they got rid of the tweet bot.
Oh, we're actually very, very
I'm
close to X headquarters right now, and sometimes I menacingly stalk the front entrance, but not tonight.
I haven't even ever walked. I don't go past there.
I did get a video sent to my cell phone a couple months ago of Elon acting very strange in a nightclub.
Why didn't you post it on TikTok?
Well, it's in my phone. This is long before I downloaded TikTok. I will post it. A friend of mine works at.
Now you gotta.
It's not late. It's never too late. to attack Elon.
I think we're gonna have to have a recurring segment here where we maybe do like voice messages from sommeliers that have waited on him, because I've heard such awful things.
Oh yeah.
Actually, just all
I'm
of the
sure.
different tech
I'm
people.
sure he's like pouring a Diet Coke into some Cantarelli right now.
I think.
That man is sick. He's sick.
And like Mark Zuckerberg would order something, but he only would want to have like a half glass of it, and he wouldn't touch the whole night. He just like had it there.
Yeah, because he knows people are spying on him. Mm-hmm. It's like, look at Mark. He's smart enough to drink out of a cup. Wow, look at Mark. He can drink.
My God.
He really knows how to do the act of drinking.
Right. Yeah.
Mark rolls jiu-jitsu. I used to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu way back in the...
Wait, you started doing what?
I used to be Brazilian.
I used to be a Brazilian Jew.
Yeah, no, I was a Brazilian Jew in a past life, and I also knew karate, which is a roundabout way of saying that, like, Mark. I've seen Mark's training videos. That guy can really roll. He can fight.
Well, he's a twisty little bendy little rubber band man.
Yeah, I mean,
rubber band man. Definitely,
I think that what Cara's trying to say is that Mark Zuckerberg reminds her of an octopus, which is really questionable.
No, dude. Octopus. I was just researching octopi today. Did you know that, like, they don't live very long? Like, I thought these things lived like turtles.
Is it fentanyl?
Well, only the ones in the Bay Area. No. They only live, octopus don't, like, they live like 6 months, some of them. Some of them only like 2 years.
That's fucking terrible. What a wash.
Because their bodies start to, like, deteriorate, literally, after they start mating. So, like, when the male drops off his sperm sac into the mantle of the female octopus, he will die, like, within 2 months. Well, and then the females, they'll start to die once they hang their clutch of eggs. And then they'll just, like, disintegrate. Like fucking Thanos.
Business is business, dude. Jim Cramer.
Incredible. Like, and then it's like they lay 10,000 to 70,000 eggs.
Yeah.
And then those little guys are like adults within like a week of bursting out of the sack.
Yeah, they're bullish on reproduction and bearish on staying alive.
And I was thinking about the reason I got it is a numbers game, but the reason I was interested in learning about this today was because I was thinking about how cephalopods, octopus, are the most intelligent invertebrate.
Right.
And like they're so far disconnected from humans, like on the chain of evolution, that like things are only connected like molecularly. Like there's no like current, like the earthworm is closer to us than like an octopus.
How much of that real science informs how associated octopi are with alien life forms?
Completely 100%. Yeah. And like to the point where scientists, well, I say like scientists like broadly because I don't remember exactly what type of scientists, but like they use the intelligence of octopus to like think about the intelligence of extraterrestrial life. Because they're so far
That was just a little guess on my end, but
yeah.
Turns out I'm the smartest non-octopus person in the room.
Okay, and so I was like, if they're so fucking smart, they can use tools, like their nervous system, like is not just like in their brain, kind of like ours is like everything stems in the brain and like moves out, right? Like their nervous system is like separate and like within like their arms and stuff, like kind of all on their own. Like their arms all kind of can work independently of each other, but also together.
But that is something I've thought about at length because, like, sometimes I try and move my fingers, and it's like
you can't do it without the brain.
I don't.
They're not doing it on their own. If they're doing it on their own, it's involuntary. But it's not like they have their own.
No.
You know, their fucking pupils, dude. Like, they're made to the point where their eyes always stay horizontal. So, like, no matter what way they're whatever, their eyes are always. Their gravity is.
They'll rotate if the body rotates.
The eyes will stay the same. Or something like that. It's like they're always like staying level.
That's very
cool.
Their
body's always leveled regardless of gravity, like the angle.
Hey, listen, shout out.
Fucking
octopi. That's
fucking amazing.
That's fucking crazy.
And so I was like, listen, maybe if it wasn't like this is me, my human ape brain.
Yeah.
Being like, well, maybe if it wasn't like so wet down there, they would like be engineers. I don't know what else.
She's like, yo, they could build.
That's how my brain started it. I
She's
was like, if you give them a little lab.
Yeah, they have a lab coat.
Yeah.
Cara's trying to get down there and be like, man, y'all should build Atlantis.
Completely. That's like in my head. Like, I haven't done it. And so I'm looking it up and I'm like, oh.
She's showing them pictures of like vapes and bodegas and being like, you can have all of this shit.
You too can have a credit score.
She's showing them Experion and Rombauer. Like, yo.
But they only live like 6 months to 2 years.
Yeah, so they're not even trying to have any of that. They don't give a fuck.
They're not like really learning from each other because it's like mom and dad are gone by the time you're around.
Right.
You and your little buddies are popping away. The only time you're with another one is like in captivity, really. Like
we got to do something for this community, man.
So I was like,
if the fathers back in the home.
If they were able to live like 50 years each and like teach the other ones to keep going, they would take us over in an instant. That's all I'm saying.
They need their own like Vietnam. You know, we got to get some motivation.
Well, there we go. Okay.
So you got one for this too?
It's starting with the orcas, okay? Once the orcas are able to start to get these octopi on board,
this is great.
It's over for us.
Because you think that they're going to come with the small arms, the munitions, and the engineering come through.
Fucking nuke us. Yes.
Oh, okay.
They're going to get us.
Some kind of reverse fucking oceanic style.
Yeah, like
fuck you.
Like
type.
the asteroid to the Earth blacking out the sun, but from below.
But something coming out being like.
And not just the seas rising. Let's take
the Earth's core. They're gonna channel that kind of cannon style. Okay. Respect, yo, Octos. You know we're cool. We're all over here. SoMa West. We're cool with all ocean life.
I for one would love to live under octopus rule. I'm fine with it. I feel like it'd be better.
You know me, under the sea. I'll sing the whole song. We're good.
They can change their skin color to communicate.
Yo, folks would love that up here.
Instead of code switching, just change it.
Yo, that's crazy.
Everything about them I love. I wanted to get a tattoo, once of them, and the artist was like, it's gonna be real complicated. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yes.
One day.
Well,
that's it.
Thanks for joining us. We felt that rap organically because we're locked in like that. It's really real. Yeah.